Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. Today, back into Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific Admirals Edition. This is our play-by-email challenge against the devilish Mr. Lodrick, and we're about to see what Mr. Lodrick had in store for us on January 24th and January 25th of the year 1942. So we're motoring through January here, almost up to February. As the allied player, of course, every bit of time early in this game that ticks by is a good thing. You get more and more stuff. The Japanese get more and more extended. Now, we don't want them too extended, obviously, down into India or Australia, but if we can hold them up at, Papua New Guinea, up in Burma, in the Indian Ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, if we can just kind of slow their advance, slow them down, before they, overwhelm us at the Dutch East Indies and other places, then that's a good thing. This time around, I think Lodrick's going to be coming after Singapore again. He's sitting there ready to try to take it. Now, that's usually a bit of a tussle. He'll eventually take it, of course. It's just a matter of how much bloodiness we can give him and, how many turns it takes. Of course, we want to slow him down as much as possible because that is the route into the Dutch East Indies and Surabaya, and of course, Batavia. So we'll be looking at that. He also had that task force that was coming down the western side of Australia, but let's get into it and see what happened January 24th, January 25th. 1942, and off we go. Now, hopefully, we're going to start evening up things a little bit more in the air. We get a lot of Hurricane Trop 2s that will be coming into Aden. We're going to get those out into Rangoon, Calcutta, Colombo, Madras, those important places in the Bay of Bengal. Get them up in the air because those have experienced pilots. They'll be a lot tougher for him to just walk over. Unlike China, where he's just having his way, obviously, in the air and will, and really in and around Australia. Now, remember, his carriers are down on the eastern coast of Australia, or at least one group of them is. I think the other one's up near Singapore, but we'll see soon enough. We've kind of lost track of the second one. It did a raid over into the Bay of Bengal. That was not good for us, but it is now seemingly, I don't want to say retreat. I think it's just regrouping back nearer to the home islands, probably in and around Singapore somewhere. But one part of his major carrier task force is down the eastern side of Australia. It did bomb into Sydney, or at least tried to, and he ran some sweeps over the top of Sydney. We did put Warhawks up last time, knowing that they were probably going to get sliced and diced a bit, which they did, but not too terribly. And now he knows that we do at least have some air cover on those Eastern Australia ports. All right, nothing's happened yet. We're going through. Hey, it's the Cachalot, the SS Cachalot, and of course the torpedoes miss. Now this is so frustrating as the Allied player early in the game. Whenever his subs have caught anything like this, I mean this is just a single cargo ship out here. Now I don't know if it's in a task force of some sort, but we isolated it. We get a shot, we launch two torpedoes and they miss. That's the Mark 14. That's the frustration. Pretty much every time he's gotten one of our cargo ships isolated like this, he's put it to the bottom of the ocean. Our torpedoes just miss. Too bad. Too bad. That would have been a nice little catch. Start making him think about where he's sending all of these task forces. But no luck for us there. All right, he's got a lot of things coming into Mersing there. I think he's looking to reinforce in and around Singapore. Zero's flying a sweep out over this, we've got four bases here that are around the Changsha area. He's flying sweeps over all of them. He knows we probably have a squadron of flying Tigers in here. Of course, we've only got one plane left in that squadron, but he doesn't know that. All right, here's his Death Star that's running around the map. 18 Zeros, 12 Warhawks we got in the air. Now, we've talked extensively about this. These fighters are not as good as the Zeros, and our pilots are very inexperienced when it comes to fighting, the Zeros. All we're trying to do is not have that happen. 10 Warhawks destroyed. Okay, we destroyed no Zeros. That hurts. That hurts. I mean, if it's 6-1 or 6-2 or 7-2, you take that. I'm trying to put these up in the air to dissuade him from doing this, to at least give him enough losses to where he won't just fly and bomb Sydney. We can't lose that airfield, obviously. This time it didn't work out. Let's see if we have better luck in the future. Hopefully. Flying Tigers in at Rangoon. 12 Oscars sweeping over the top. Flying Tigers have not really performed in this game very well. As we've discussed before, it seems that he's putting his oh shoot, I'm sorry, I escaped through that too fast. Seems like he's putting his really good, and people have said that in the comments. He's putting his really good pilots up on the front lines, which makes all the sense in the world. You should do that if you play the Japanese. But they've really neutralized the Flying Tigers. As I've said, a lot of times the Flying Tigers can just rip up squadron after squadron of the Japanese. 2 Zeros sweeping over there. We've got our partisans up here in Sarawak. They've been kicked out of every base up here on the northern side of Borneo, Sarawak, North Borneo, whatever you want to call it. They've just gotten the crud bombed out of them. Now we do damage one plane. We take 31 casualties. As I always say, I'm surprised they have 31 men left. Southeastern China, okay, 61 casualties there. On only 9 Nels, so he gets a nice return for that investment. We've got our isolated group out here. We talked about this when we talked about the setup for China. These guys are just kind of out here on their own, and he keeps blocking any way that we have to get back to our lines. Now, we damaged 4 planes. We've been damaging a lot of planes. We have no idea how many of these have gone down. 145 casualties, though, as we're on the move. We're not dug in anywhere. We're a very inviting target. Same with these stacks. We've got 3 stacks trying to get back to what is now our lines. They're having a hard time doing it. Nobody takes any losses there that we know about. All right, Ann's and Sally's in on this group. 152 casualties. Ugh, those are just killers. When you don't even damage a plane and he gets 152 plus 25 more, so 177 casualties for one damaged plane. Those are the bombing runs that really hurt you. And he just keeps coming. He doesn't hit us there, though. He misses. These are the groups trying to get back in and around I Chang. They've gotten kicked out of every nice base over here, and now they're just trying to get back to our lines again. 18 casualties reported there, no damaged planes. This is the group coming out of Loyang. Now we still, I guess, technically hold Loyang, but we've pulled out of it. We've given up Cheng Chao without a fight because we're just getting surrounded out here. We got to get these guys out. One damaged plane, 106 casualties. 38 IDAs in on this group. 2 damaged planes, 122 casualties. So he's getting really good return on his bombing runs this time around. Tojo's over Cheng Sha for a sweep. Nothing happening. Now he's going to come over Kang Yang, I think. Hang Yang. I knew I was close. 2 Oscars, no losses. Back into Rangoon. I wish I wouldn't have escaped through that one before. I feel like we took a few losses there, but I don't really know what they are. 35 Oscars. He's got 26 Sallies in here trying to hit the port. Now, we have a lot of AA in Rangoon. Just in the units themselves and an AA counter or 2. And so we only get 1 Flying Tiger up. He had 35 Oscars running escort, 26 Sallies on the bombing missions, 1 damaged Sally, 1 destroyed by flak. Okay. We took 7 casualties. He got the runway for a point and the airbase for a point. When you think about these points, it's kind of 0 to 100. So we got about 1% damage there. Okay, he's snooping around Sabang up there at the top of Sumatra. It's something we haven't talked a lot about Sumatra for good reason. There hasn't been a lot of action there. I've gotten most everything down to Palembang that I could, but we do have 3 units stacked up there at Sabang at the very northern tip of Sumatra. But he'll be across there soon enough. It's not a big enough force to stop anything, but they're also too far away to march them anywhere. You could, if you're against a very passive player, get a transport up there, take them out of Sabang and tank them down to Palembang if you want to play Fortress Palembang. 8 casualties on the Allied side here. Okay. Now then, this is us. This is us. Wow, we're running a bombing mission. What do you know? We've got 5 fortresses, B-17Ds, okay? We've actually brought them in at 12,000 feet. I usually run those between 20 and 25,000, but I didn't suspect he had fighters out here, so I ran them a little bit lower. Um, Nothing happened. We tried to bomb Madang. Now, what I've got them down here at Townsville and Cairns. I've got them at Cairns, and I've just got them on commander discretion for bombing ports and airfields. I've got one group on ports, one group on airfields. I've got them doing that again, commander discretion. And if they find something they like, if the commander likes the bombing mission, he can send them out there. Just kind of let Ludric know we've got bombing in the area. It's not going to just be a cakewalk from here on out. Okay, he's coming into Brisbane now. We get 8 Warhawks. Let's just hope this doesn't go nearly as badly as Sydney did. He's got zeros sweeping in the top. Okay, we had 4 destroyed here. So we've lost 14 Warhawks to no zeros. If that gives you an idea of the mismatch that we're dealing with here. But again, hopefully it'll dissuade him from coming up and down and just raising the eastern coast of Australia. I've also got more experienced pilots coming in there. We'll talk more about that during our setup this time. I've got more experienced pilots coming in, so it won't be quite as a mismatch. When they come on the map, they've got a real kind of poor grouping of pilots that's in there, and you've got to get experienced pilots in there. We lost 14 planes for the effort. You make a lot of Warhawks. Just put them on replacements and upgrade, and you'll be that'll get replaced soon enough. It is 14 planes, I get that, but they're very inexperienced pilots. 62 casualties reported. This group that's kind of in between 2 Japanese bases. Same old story in China. We're trying to get back to our lines in a lot of places. There's a few places that it's not been so easy. Okay. So really the 14 Warhawks lost are kind of the big headlines so far. And also our sub completely flubbing his lines on a wide open Japanese cargo ship. But that'll continue to happen until the Mark 14's torpedoes get improved. They miss a lot. Even when they do hit something, sometimes it doesn't explode. Such it was for American submariners early in the war. All right, we've got a deliberate attack, a Japanese deliberate attack out here near Kukong. Now, this is the group I took out of Kansen. I was trying to get them over here to Kukong before he could retreat back here and hopefully kind of isolate this stack of units that he had up here. I don't think we're going to be able to do that, and we're going to get kicked out of here as we get hit from behind, and we're going to be retreating towards Hanyang. That's good. I was worried that it would try to retreat down here where he's got more troops at Canton. Instead, we're going to go up towards Hanyang. That's a good thing. Now, he had us about 3-1 on the odds. He did take 1,749 casualties here, so this is a little bit better than we've been doing. About 3.5 to 1 on the casualties. We took 6,000, he took 1,749. And now he is attacking into Singapore. So this is the big assault on Singapore. If we look down here, it's a deliberate attack, 361, 349, 370, and then over here he's got 367, 378. So you can see he's got full divisions here. It looks like about 5 full divisions, maybe a little bit more than that. Um, let's see if we hold it, and let's see if we can really rough him a little bit here. This is, these are he's eventually going to take Singapore, but if we can rough him up a little bit, that's a nice thing. As you can see here, attacking force, he's got 86,000 troops, 930 artillery, 438 AFVs for a raw assault value of 2625. We've got about 33,000 and a half troops, 482 artillery, and 290. We're completely outmatched. It's at least 2 to 1. It's really 2.5 to 1 or so. So our raw values are such, but you can see attacking into Singapore with fort levels, tough to do. He gets adjusted out to a 1322. We're at a 573 once that all went into the blender. He did reduce our fortifications to 0, so we're very likely to lose this next time unless we can rebuild this fortification level. But he took us, well, it says assault odds are 2 to 1, fort level 1. Okay. Defender, we get a plus for the terrain, a negative for the experience. Hey, okay, this isn't terrible for us. 2,040 casualties for the Japanese. We take 2926, so about 1.5 to 1 on the casualties. Really, you want to look at these destroyed because once they're destroyed, they're out, right? Disabled can repair itself, of course. Destroyed, nope, it's no longer. It's gone. So just something to keep in mind. Guns lost. We lost 86. Doesn't look like he lost any guns. He's firing his big artillery here. We lost 19 vehicles. He lost 6. Okay, and he lost an engineer, one destroyed engineer. Okay, well that wasn't a terrible result. We held him off this time. Now, next, again, we would need to build back up to a level 1 fort for me to feel like, we got a decent chance to hold on here. Um, if it stays at a 0, this is going to be his. Ground combat at Donggala. It's a Japanese deliberate attack. He had 344 troops. We had nothing in this base, and they capture Donggala. Okay, this is that group. Still some things up here in Malaysia trying to be partisans. I have a feeling they're going to surrender. That was a shock attack. He took 21 casualties. We took 60. Nope, we didn't surrender. Hell no. We're not giving up. Funny. Those guys have just held out forever. All right, now we're starting to expand forts. So this will be the near the end of January 24th, and we'll jump into January 25th. All in all, not too bad of a day for us. Look, I'd rather not lose the Warhawks, but Lord knows the Americans can crank out more Warhawks than that in an hour. So, it's not the biggest deal. If we scared him off the eastern coast of Australia, in my mind, it would be worth it. You may disagree with that. I understand. You never want to lose anything, but sometimes sacrifice for the greater good. That's at least that's the way I'm going to spin it. We hold on at Singapore. We have a submarine that just totally flubs its lines. But those were the main things that happened on the 24th, and we move to almost. Are we there? Let's see what's going to arrive. I always like to see what's going to arrive. It's exciting. All right, we still didn't have the garrison requirement in Mole Mine down there. I've moved units down there to try to take care of that. We get the Grampus, the Grayback. We talked about this, the Grenadier. So we get these 3 new subs. We get an AK. We get a brand new squadron here at Rockhampton. We get some fighters out here at Brisbane. Now some of those are just me flying over and meeting up with things, but we did get some new stuff. This is the 34th Bombing Group is all coming into Pendleton. We saw this last time when we reviewed what was coming in. So a new bombing group, and then we get a new fighter group over here on the eastern U.S. Usually these groups are about 4 squadrons. You have what they call the headquarters squadron of 4 planes, and then you have 3 or 4 other squadrons that are full with whatever the maximum number can be in that squadron. Sometimes it's like 16. I think in the Era Cobra's case, it's 16. Warhawks, it's usually 25, and you'll get 3 squadrons of those, especially with the Warhawks. You get 3 plus that headquarters. So you get about 78 or 79 planes when a full fighter group comes in. But of course, those are very helpful. And it looks like we got more planes on the eastern coast of Australia. So what did we lose? Well, maybe a few points, but losing those inexperienced pilots, while sad for their pixel families, not the end of the world for us. I may come to regret that if we end up losing this game by a couple of points. Submarines off of Mersing here. These are his TBs, so he's probably found us, not the other way around. Nope, I was wrong about that. But he did have a destroyer and a TB out here, so that's not really what we want to be attacking. Sub attack. We launched 4 torpedoes at that TB, the Camo, uh, with no damage. Now we also have the SS 019. So I think the previous one was the 020. Now we have the 019 out here. They got some depth charges in on us here. Too bad. We had a cruiser in here. Would be nice to have gotten a torpedo off on a cruiser. Didn't do it, and he had 4 destroyers in escort. We get 3 hits there from their depth charges. We'll probably have to limp back to Surabaya. I just keep throwing those Dutch subs out there where I think he's going to try to reinforce at Singapore, Mersing. Once he gets down closer to the Dutch East Indies, any transports that are coming across. The Dutch subs are good, but he's doing a good job of also running escort with his stuff. So, we haven't hit much with them, at least not as much as I'd be used to hitting us, certainly against the AI. The PBs out here near Mersing. Okay, it's that same 020. Nothing happened there. I mean, well, something happened. We launched 2 torpedoes at the Nietzsche Maru, but no damage on either side. We're reporting a submarine out there off the west coast. 5 Japanese ships off of Colombo there. That's why you always want to watch these. They flash by kind of quickly, but you can get some really good information. He's got some ships out there by Colombo. We don't really know what they are yet, but hopefully we'll find out. Flying Tiger's in the air, defending against an Oscar sweep. Looks like maybe we got one. Did we? Nope. We only had one Flying Tiger destroyed. Man, we just can't get anything going with those guys. 29 Nels, 27 Bettys in on this group again. I'm not even sure why he's bothering to bomb them, but 1 damaged plane, 49 casualties. All right, 3 Mabels. Nothing going on there. Then he's got Anne's, Ida's, Lily's, Sonia's. Wow, what a ladies group there. We take 18 casualties. 9 nils into southeastern China. We take 43 casualties. Now you can remember the last couple of turns, we've really damaged a lot of planes. How many of those went down, we don't know, but this time not so much. 25 Sonias. Okay, there we go. Now it seems like these units up in this area have more natural AA. Sonia's 25. We damaged 4 of those. Now we did take, wow, 177 casualties. I'm not sure that's a good trade-off for us. Lily's in. 16 casualties, 23 Sallies and 30 Anns, or 22 Anns, I'm sorry. No loss, no damaged planes, 165 casualties. His bombing's been outstanding for him this turn. 17 Anns, okay, 1 Ann damage, 12 Allied casualties. Group trying to get back to I Chang. No Japanese losses, 16 Allied casualties. Got about 50 bombers in here. We do damage 2 planes, as you can see there. 2 IDAs were damaged. We took 54 casualties. A little sweep over the Changsha area. This is Hangyang. We did get a flying tiger up. Hey, look at that. We finally destroyed an Oscar. Now I thought we only had one flying tiger left in this area. I was wrong. We had three, and we got them up in the air against 5 Oscars, and we did destroy an Oscar. Thank goodness. He's coming in unmolested on Rangoon here. 25 Sallies to do the bombing. We do damage 2 Sallies. We have 2 Flying Tigers damaged, and you know I hate this. We had one destroyed on the ground. They must have been too fatigued to get back up in the air, or they just didn't have time to do it. And as you can see here, runway hits 12. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. We cannot have this runway get away from us. Airbase supply hits 2. Now, if it did, were we to take enough damage here at Rangoon, we could always put them up at Tonggu, or we could move them back to one of these 2 bases. But you'd much rather they be right over Rangoon. But he knows that. I mean, Laudric knows that. He's going to hit that runway over and over, both at Rangoon and Port Moresby, where we have the exact same situation. We have planes that we can get there, but if we don't have a usable runway, we're going to have to go around the edges. 9 casualties reported here on that bombing run. All right, Anzanitas into the group coming out of Loyang. The stack, 34 casualties reported there. He's going to hit him again with 18 more Idas. 1 damaged plane, 53 casualties. Aha! Now then, what's going on here? We had spotted that he had 5 ships. Oh my. Oh my, the battleship Hyuga is out here, and it looks like we got a hit in. Did you see that? Uh, we have 5 Wildebeests at Colombo. Okay, so these are torpedo bombers, Allied aircraft. The Wildebeest 3, we have 5 of those at Colombo, kind of running unescorted. We don't even have fighters that we've been able to get into Colombo yet, but we have these torpedo bombers, and I've got them on naval attack and training, I think. It could be rest, but naval attack certainly is their number 1 priority. Um, we spotted 5 of his ships that had been gallivanting about here and said, okay, let's send out the torpedo bombers and see what happens. We lose 1 destroyed by flak. We do get a bomb hit in on the Hyuga. Now, here's the bad news. These torpedo bombers don't have torpedoes. That's why you see a bomb hit. Normally, they would have dropped torpedoes in the water, and we may have blown this thing sky high because a torpedo is going to do more damage against something like this. It gets below the water line, below the good belt armor. Um, as it is, we do hit it with a bomb, but it didn't look like, we're not showing heavy damage, fires, or anything like that. So we won't know. It's fog of war, but that's going to be enough to scare him because we were a hairbreadth away from maybe taking out a battleship there, the Hyuga. Damn, I wish they would have had torpedoes loaded because we came in there. I mean, he doesn't have carriers over here. We came in completely free, just completely free for shots on a battleship. Now they have good anti-aircraft, but still, we could have gotten torpedoes laid in the water. I think we could have taken one or maybe more than one of those out. Well, hopefully that bomb, got down into the lower decks and caused some real damage. We may never know. I was excited. That was like probably the best thing that's happened to us yet in this game. uh, yeah, the torpedo situation. The problem is you've only got so many torpedoes in the pool. Now, Colombo is a level 9 port, so you can load torpedoes there, but we need to get it from uh, the headquarters out there, the 221 RAF, and I need to restockpile those, and that, in some respects, is my fault. The headquarters needs to have those torpedoes to get under those torpedo. To be honest with you, I just thought they'd be out there training. And oh, hey, the wildebeest want a second shot. I love it. Okay, let's get in on this. Now we come in on Mr. Nagato, Arigato, Mr. Nagato battleship. We do have a damaged plane. We do not hit the Nagato. So the way torpedoes work in this game for aircraft is we've got the 221 RAF headquarters at Colombo. You have to stock that full of torpedoes, and maybe I should show you how to do that in the next setup. Remind me. It's going to be hard to do considering I record these, but we'll go do that next turn. Okay. SS-016, this Dutch sub, unfortunately takes 3 hits. Ouch. Those Dutch subs were just not getting the joy that we do sometimes with those. Again, he's done a good job of running his escort, and that's how it should be. I mean, you should be escorting stuff that's valuable with 2 to 3 escort ships, and they usually get to the submarines first. Now, I'm not saying that the submarine can't sneak through here or there, because otherwise, what would be the point of having submarines? But I mean, they do. Okay, he's now attacking uh, into this group that had come out of Nanyang and gotten across the river. Interesting. So he's chased them across the river. He's got the 20th Division, 19th Division. They add up to almost 1,000. He's got some mixed brigades. Okay, he's got 2 more divisions. My goodness. Okay, so he's got 4 divisions and 3 of these mixed brigades against 6 of our corps. Now, some of these have gotten beaten down. We should be able to give him a good tussle here, but it looks like he's hurting us. Um, I'm kind of surprised because he's coming across that river, but it looks like we're retreating, and we're retreating towards I Cheng. So we may expel right into this hex, I would think. Now, I doubt he's going to come down and try to mess with I Cheng. We've built up a level 4 fort here, and we've got about 3,000 in value. So we get spit out into this hex. Look at the raw value. So, holy mackerel, he had 135,000 men there. We've got almost 50,000, which I thought's pretty decent force. He's got almost 1,500 artillery to R240, and he's got over 900 AFVs. Holy wow. 44-25 on the raw. We had 1539. That's probably the highest raw score we've had in this game. When you put it through the blender, he's got 3369. We've got 453. 7-1 odds. My God. He does take 6,660. Whoa, okay. Casualties reported 6,660. We take 26,000 casualties. Wow, what a battle that was! I mean, it was 4-1 on the casualties. Um, I mean, we bloody his nose a little bit, but we took 26,000 casualties, and now he's back in trying to take Singapore. Can we hold it this time? Oh, we need for me to feel okay about this turn. We need to hold here. Deliberate attack, you see the raw values. Once we go through all the algorithms, 730 to 395. Okay, 1-1. We've got a big terrain advantage, obviously. He takes 1428 in casualties. We take 3063. Okay, well, he's going to take this next time. I'm actually surprised he didn't take it from that battle. Yeah, we are going to lose Singapore next time. This group, they don't give up. He still hasn't surrendered. They still haven't surrendered out there. They're true partisans. All right, now we're into the fortification build. Well, overall, uh, not the best turn we've ever had. It wasn't a disaster by any means. I don't think we lost any ships. We lost about 14 planes. We got hurt on the ground in a couple of places, but his bombing campaign's so extensive in China, that's just to be expected. He's doing a little bit better in China than we would hope, certainly. That's probably my main place of worry, to be honest with you. He probably will take Singapore next time. We did get a bomb hit in on a battleship, no idea of the damage it did. Probably not that much. It was just a bomb. It wasn't a torpedo that could have maybe really got a secondary, explosions going on below the decks. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one of these turns it'll pop up that we sunk a battleship. I very, very highly doubt it. That will, though, however, maybe dissuade him from coming in and around Colombo again, since we do have torpedo bombers without torpedoes this time. And as you can see, we're getting more planes, we're getting more artillery, we're getting coastal AA, more coastal AA. I love that AA. I try to get it out on every little island. Um, we get a new core in at Chungking. That's very helpful. But anyway, when we come back next time, we'll look at the stats and we'll do the setup for January 26th. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. I'll talk to you next time.